Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Let me just say something. Either you have it, or either you don't. What did he say? You might got the E, but you ain't got the T. When I say, when we talk about, remember I was complaining about the Real Housewives of New York, and I was saying that those ladies are not that interesting enough to sit around a table and entertain the viewers. I don't think there's anybody on the new cast, the rebooted show, the whatever, the Real Housewives of New York, that are just like this interesting character, this interesting reality star. Um, but when I watched the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City this episode, and when I've watched the Real Housewives of Potomac, and when I think about times on Real Housewives of Atlanta, where you have a certain group of women who can actually entertain even at a dinner table. These ladies were at Mary's table for that second half of the episode, and I was entertained the entire time. You see what I'm saying? But then when you think about the Real Housewives of New York, like when they were in, I think they were in Aaron's Hampton's home, and I was like, this is a mess. You're like, y'all don't have it. You're like, y'all have to do stuff to keep me entertained because y'all are not that interesting to just sit at a table. And, you know, I grab my phone because I'm bored. Anyway, so shout out to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. So Lisa and Heather meet up. Girl, Lisa is buying a ring. I think it's $2,200. And the first thing I thought about was the girl from last season who had a fit. Girl, because Lisa kept complaining about losing her $60,000 ring. And I was like, girl, she would have a fit. Girl, if she saw Lisa, not only did she lose $60,000 ring, now she's buying a $2,200 ring. Anyways, this is what it comes down to. Lisa is telling Heather about the trip, and how you deliver a story means everything. You can intentionally change a story to make it sound a certain way, right? The way that you um, the way that you speak when you're telling a story, right? It can change how it really went. So the way that Lisa was talking about Bronwyn and what happened to Heather, she conflated all those issues together, in my opinion. So she tells Heather, yeah, Bronwyn, she wanted you to come. She was crying when you left her home, but then she also got upset when we called you. So now it looks like Bronwyn is this psychotic fool. You know what I'm saying? Because you say you wanted me to come. You say you wanted me to come, and then you were crying when you left, but then you get mad when the girls call me. When the story actually should have been told, well, Bronwyn talked to me. Her story was a tad bit different than yours. She said that when you went to her home, she had all the intention of wanting you to come on the trip. The conversation got a little intense to the point where she actually was very emotional when you left her home because she really wanted you to come. Um, we get to Palm Springs, and she went to the bathroom, and we called you. And when she came back, I think she felt that we were being sneaky because we picked up the phone and called you when she walked away. You see what I'm saying? If you tell the story that way, it makes a little bit more sense. But when you tell it the way that Lisa tells it, it sounds like Bronwyn is nuts. You know? And then of course, Heather is like, that just doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't make any sense because the way that Lisa is telling the story. But if she would have told the story the correct way, it would have made sense. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I look at it. Now listen. Girl, I gotta get my chapstick for this. Girl. Oh, girl. I need another tube of chapstick. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Baby. So, Miss Bronwyn and Mr. Todd. So, y'all know I like Bronwyn. I think Todd is an older, rich man. Based off of what Bronwyn has said, he does not like mess. Based off of Todd's actions, he does not like mess. Todd was already fed up with those people 3 hours into the trip. Hello? So Todd is not I don't think Todd, and then when we take into account they are shooting a reality show, I know that Bronwyn knows how this goes, right? I don't think Todd, I could see Todd not even knowing what a housewife show was. Okay. So I don't think that Todd knows that a part of the setup is the girls will argue, fuss, and fight, right? I don't know if Bronwyn pulled Todd to the side and let him know, hey, I'm clearly Todd agreed to be on the show, but I don't know if she gave him a full rundown of how this works. um, Todd basically is sitting down with Bronwyn and he tells her that he's disappointed in how she behaved and he's never seen her act that way. And I said, what way? And so in my head, I started to think that Bronwyn really wasn't doing a whole bunch of cutting up when they were at that pool. So I'm like, has Bronwyn not? And, and my thing is, how are you married to someone for 10 years and you say that this is a side you've never seen? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, girl, like, I would hope that after 10 years of marriage or however long they've been together, is it 10 years? They've been together a long time. However long they've been married, I would think that I have seen every side of you. So when I do see a certain side, I'm not surprised. I know how you can get when you get upset. You know? So I thought that was a little strange that Todd has never seen that side of Bronwyn before. And again, I didn't really think that Bronwyn was doing a whole bunch of cutting up and carrying on. He blamed her. He said she ruined the day. She ruined the day. Um, I think that Todd did what y'all always say we're supposed to do, right? You don't embarrass your friends or boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife in public, but you correct them in private. So here we go, Todd, basically telling Bronwyn how he feels. It does come across, and maybe it is because Todd is an old man. It does come, and Bronwyn is much younger than Todd. It does come across like a father who is choosing to discipline his daughter, and the daughter kind of just shrinks down. It does give that. And that may be the dynamic when you are a younger woman or even a younger man and you choose to date, choose to marry, deal with older rich men. Because hell, the poor men, they already act like they run shit and they can talk to you any kind of way. So just imagine when you start to bring in that other layer of this person having money, right? And not only do they have money, but they're the boss at their job. You know what I'm saying? The dynamic between Bronwyn and Todd, it does kind of give uh, it's giving it's giving girl Bronwyn is planning her exit from the marriage. We're gonna get into that prenup in a little bit because I got something to say for Miss Heather Gay. Girl, I'm about to scalp you, Heather. Okay, because you're doing too much of this. Um, but it does appear that sometimes Bronwyn does kind of shrink down when Todd starts to speak, and I don't know if that's a health. I don't think that would be a healthy position to be in a relationship. But Bronwyn has probably become accustomed to the lifestyle, the money. I know that people are going to say that Bronwyn had a job before she met Todd, but I bet you she wasn't making as much money as Todd. I bet you that much. So whatever she did, whether they worked for the same company or they worked in the same industry, girl, I bet she won't make. I bet your checks wasn't as big as Todd's. um. So yeah, we'll get back into Todd and Bronwyn in a little bit. So Angie had a very emotional scene. I was over here crying, girl. Angie had a very emotional scene. We're not gonna spend too much time on it, because I'll start crying again. But anyways, so Angie meets up with her father. They have dinner, and long story short, she is still upset at her mother. Her mother was an alcoholic. It sounds like I think that her mother, based off of, I guess I don't know. It sounds like her mother couldn't handle being a mother to all those goddamn children. Okay, and she, started to turn to the bottle, and she started to self medicate. Um, I think it was like seven or eight of them. I don't think she could handle it all. Um, and so unfortunately she turned to the bottle. And I think Angie has went through life really not, um, probably angry at her mother, because in Angie's head she probably feels like you left us. Like I didn't have a mother, right? And so now she like overcompensates for her daughter, always wanting to be there, always making sure that Electra has whatever she needs. um, there's no real connection, I think, to her mother, because I think her mother died when Angie was a very young girl. I think like 7 or 8. Um, so yeah, Angie's going through that. Um, yeah, Angie's going through that. So shout out to Angie. All right, let's move. Cause I don't want to spend too much time on no sad shit. Okay. Breakfast at Mary's, girl. Girl, when Mary said that she invited Brittany over because she wanted her to see that she was not poor. I said, I know that's right. Hey, Mary said, I wanted her to know I'm not poor. When Mary told Brittany, they started passing around bread. When Mary told Brittany, don't put the bread in your purse. Hey, ooh, wait. Anyways, so Brittany. Brittany arrives. It was a breakfast at Tiffany's theme. So most of the women had on black. Um, Bronwyn didn't have on black, but she had her hair like Audrey Hepburn. Lisa came in with a turquoise jumpsuit on, the same jumpsuit that Mary wore a couple of years ago. Heather came in with a turtleneck and a skirt. um, so I was like, okay, girl. Anyways, um, so Brittany is basically upset. One, Brittany is upset that she didn't get an invite to Bronwyn's, anniversary party, her getaway. And then she switches it to Angie, and she's upset at Angie because she feels as though, and she didn't like the fact that Angie. So Brittany had a game night, like a Christian game night, or Mormon game night, or religious game night. I can't remember what type of game night it was. Um, she had a game night for the church folk, and Angie came in with a bottle of wine. And so Brittany is basically, she's a fraud. We're gonna call it what it is. You know, she puts on. She doesn't want the people in the church to know that, girl, she like to, girl, take them back. She like to have a couple of copies. She like to have a few libations, right? She like to have a cocktail every now and again. So when Angie came into the house with a bottle of wine and there wasn't number church folks there, save religious folk there, girl, she almost blew up Brittany's spot, right? Because Brittany doesn't want the girls to know that she drinks because you're not supposed to drink. Um, and so when Angie said, you're doing three guys, you drink and you're claiming to be a Mormon, I said, bitch. I said, when I tell you Angie gags everybody at the table, Angie basically told Brittany, girl, don't start no shit with me, girl. You over here, girl, you fucking three niggas. Okay, and you drink. Girl, but you mad because I brought a bottle of wine to the party? Girl, get out my face. Now, I don't think that Brittany is actually having sex. I don't know. Girl, some of us go through a whole phase in different times of life. I don't know if Brittany's actually having sex with three men or she's just dating three men. Dating does not mean sex, okay? Um, but anyways, Mary let it be known that that Jared is in her DMs. Hey, I said, go on, Mary. She said she hasn't told Brittany because she doesn't want that soap opera. Like, girl, he went in my DMs talking about I'm a spirit. They showed some of the DMs. It wasn't anything. Let me say this. This is what people do when they go into your DMs. They won't say anything that's necessarily inappropriate. They give just enough to see how far you're going to go with it. You see what I'm saying? So even though the messages were not really disrespectful or inappropriate, it could still be a way, and I'll just talk, I'm just talking in general now. It could be a way that when people go into your DMs, they're just trying to see how far you're going to go with it. So let me say, hey, I love that you're a spiritual woman, right? But they really trying to see, girl, I want to see if she with it. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, um, and so Whitney asked Brittany, are you mad that she brought wine to your house, or are you mad that she exposed that you drink? I said, come on, Whitney, come on. That's what it is. She's mad that she exposed, girl, here we go with this ring light. She's mad that Angie pretty much exposed to the community that she drinks because they're not supposed to drink. And then Heather basically, Heather basically said she coming in full force. She coming in. Heather said, "Girl, I'm coming in acting like a cunt." That's what she said. Okay. Heather, I forgot how it got to this point, but Heather brings up Bronwyn not having a prenup. Let me say something. And Bronwyn told her, you got to take a break off the prenup. You keep knocking on that door, you're not going to like it when I answer it. I said, I know that's right, Bronwyn. Bronwyn will be getting the girls together. Bronwyn, low-key, girl, look like she been watching the Black Housewives shows. Anyways, so let me tell you something. And this is just how I look at it. I don't know if this is the truth. This is not the gospel. These are not facts. This is just what I think. I think that Bronwyn is planning her exit strategy from that marriage. I think that her daughter is about to go off to college. So now I've raised my daughter, not raised, because you still raise your children even after 8. Well, some people don't. But my daughter is now going to college, right? We know that these girls get on this show, Housewives, to, girl, they want out of their marriages. And I don't think that Bronwyn is any different. I don't. I think that Bronwyn knows her husband. And I think that Bronwyn knows how it will come across to the viewers. Todd is very stern. Okay. I think that Heather mentioning that prenup over and over and over again, I think that Heather knows that Bronwyn may be trying to plan her exit strategy because there's really no reason for Heather to be this invested in Bronwyn and Todd not having a prenup. I think Heather knows exactly what she's doing by continuing to bring up that Bronwyn and Todd don't have a prenup. It's one thing for it to come up in conversation one time and then be done with it, right? Am I standing with Heather that I think it's stupid not to get a prenup? I absolutely believe that. But the fact of the matter is, I think I Googled it. I think only like 10% of people get prenups. So pretty much nobody gets a prenup. Okay. But I do think it's crazy for people not to get a prenup. I think that Bronwyn wants Heather to stop talking about this prenup because, bitch, you're trying to blow up my spot. That's why I think Bronwyn is with it. Like, girl, you know what's about to happen. Girl, this is just what I think that's going on. Heather knows that Bronwyn is probably one foot out the door when it comes to Todd. And you messing up the plan because you keep bringing up this prenup. Let it go. Okay? And I think that Heather knows what she's doing. That's why she keeps bringing up the prenup. Because I think she knows that Bronwyn probably wants out of her marriage. I think Heather is playing a very dirty game. I do, but this is Housewives. I think Heather knows that Bronwyn wants out of her marriage. I think Bronwyn wants out of her marriage. I do. Because there's no way that you would come onto TV and you know how your husband can be. Bronwyn doesn't give me dumb girl. You know your husband. Bronwyn has watched Housewives before. Bronwyn knows how her husband will come across to the viewers. She knows the dynamic of their relationship. She knows that man, right? She knows they don't have a prenup. She knows what it is. While I think that Todd is a smart man, clearly, to be as rich and as successful as he is, I don't think Bronwyn is just some dumb bimbo. And I think that if they got a divorce, girl, Bronwyn, it ain't gonna be no Ashley Darby and Michael. Well, girl, I just give you a few pennies and go and buy your business. I could see Bronwyn over there trying to clean house. I definitely could. And I think that as long as Heather keeps bringing up this prenup, girl, if they show this on TV, Todd may start to think, well, should I try to get a posting up, or did I make a mistake? You see what I'm saying? It'll mess up what Bronwyn in my head probably has going on. That's what I think. And I think that the next time Heather brings it up, girl, Bronwyn needs to cuss her ass out. Girl, I told you to leave that prenup alone. Girl, because you know what you're doing. And when I reach across this table and slap the dog shit out of you, then I'm going to be wrong. But you know what's going on. Heather is too invested in Todd not having a prenup. Heather is the only one that continues to bring up Todd and Bronwyn not having a prenup. Heather knows exactly what she's doing. Okay? Because I think Heather knows that Bronwyn has a plan. Girl. I really do. Like I said, girl, what I just said is not based in fact. It's not based. That's just my opinion. Okay. Bronwyn could love her husband and she's probably never gonna leave her husband. I don't think that's what it is, but that doesn't mean that it's the truth. Okay. Girl, this ring, y'all see I keep this ring light is playing games. So Heather, when I tell you marry, really do be right sometimes. Girl, when she said Heather leaves with a trail of lies, Heather is a lie. Girl, I'm almost this girl, Heather Gay was one of my fave housewives on Salt Lake City, and I'm about this close to girl throwing Heather over the boat. Girl, Heather, I just don't like the way Heather is showing up this season. I don't, girl, and I'm gonna stand in it. Heather done lost a little bit of weight. She lost a little bit of weight, got some new teeth, right? And now I think Heather is being the girl that she always wanted to be, which is a mean girl. I do think that last season, with Heather having a good season, I think it went to her head. So you have a good season and you come back and you're skinny and you got new teeth, right? You got a new face. Heather thinks she's that girl. But Heather, you do lie. Heather sat there right at the table because Bronwyn basically said that she had already purchased a first class ticket for Heather, which makes sense because Now, I will say this much: it was kind of, when you think about it, it was kind of weird that they flew there private, but then flew back commercial. Like I thought that when you think like, girl, why did you fly there private, but then, girl, y'all had to fly back through Delta? I'm just making up an airline, girl, on the way back home. But it did make sense that Bronwyn probably did buy Heather a ticket because the Heather is the only one that's not a couple. More than likely, because the plane was so small, she put the couples together. You see what I'm saying? So because Heather is not married, we could just sit Heather in first class with us. Heather starts to play the game of, how did you get my birthday? No one knows my birthday because I've lied to everyone at this table about my birthday. Girl, Heather, you are a liar, girl. Girl, what you mean? How she got your birthday? You know how she got your birthday? Because she probably got it from Girl Production. So now, of course, Bronwyn back is against the wall because now she has to think fast on her feet, right? I got it from someone. I think that's what Bronwyn said. You know where she got your birthday from, girl? She probably got it from somebody, girl, on the other side of the camera. Girl, I don't know, like, but anyways, so Heather does lead with a trail of lies. Heather is a liar. Um, Lisa then calls out Angie. She says that Angie basically almost died when she saw her ticket. No, I don't think that's true. This is what I think happened. I think that these people are probably used to flying first class. I think that they were all shocked when they saw that our seats are 19A, 27B, girl, 23D, right? I think they were shocked because they probably are used to flying first class. I didn't see Angie just cut up and act a fool, right? I didn't see Angie almost die. No, Lisa cut up and act a fool. Lisa is the one who almost died. Lisa is the one who wants to get on camera and cry and shed a tear and be dramatic because she feels as though she don't like when folks question her as a mother. But then you also say that you're okay with not rushing back to go see your child because you would rather have your flight delayed, go to Los Angeles so you can fly first class just for a 60-minute flight. Then you wonder why people question you as a goddamn mama. After you just sat there and said that you're in a rush to get back home to see your son. So no, the only one that really cut up that they showed at least was Lisa. I think everybody else was kind of like, girl, 19, hey, bitch. Girl, let's just go. Girl, it's only a 60-minute flight. I really feel like that was the energy. Pissed off, girl, like, bitch, what? Okay, girl, let's just go. I gotta get home. You know, Lisa cut up and act a fool. And then Heather says, if it doesn't matter where you sit, then why did you book yourself in first class and everyone else in coach? And then and then Bronwyn said, because it's my goddamn credit card. I said, I know that's right. Bitch, Bronwyn be on they ass. Do you hear me? Girl, Bronwyn is not playing no games with Heather. Heather cannot take Bronwyn. She can't. She cannot take Bronwyn. She can't. Bronwyn Bronwyn is on Heather Gay's neck and her old face. Okay, and her old body. Bronwyn has been dragging Heather since they kind of fell out. And the shit that Bronwyn says to Heather, it always makes sense. Girl, very simple. Like, this was simple and to the point. Why did you book yourself in first class and everybody else in coach? Basically, why didn't you sit in coach? Because it's my goddamn credit card. At that point, you can't say shit. What else is going on? Because it's my motherfucking money. That's why. Oh, okay. Heather basically finally agrees to move on, to move forward with Bronwyn. Heather doesn't like to accept any accountability. The truth of the matter is, like Bronwyn has already said, "Girl, yes, I was being messy, but I was being messy because you were being messy." On some real shit, not to sound, not to sound like we're 5 years old, but girl, you started it. You started it, girl. You were being messy, so I started being messy, and now you mad because I did the same thing you was doing. But Heather doesn't want to accept accountability that, girl, in real life, you really did start the mess. You were trying to be messy with Whitney, not realizing that Bronwyn had already said what she said about Whitney to Whitney's face. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, but so they Heather decides to move forward with with Bronwyn. Mary did tell her that Mary did tell Heather that Bronwyn really wants to get along. I don't really think Bronwyn wants an issue with Heather. Heather is making the issue with Bronwyn, right? And because Heather is making the issue with Bronwyn, Bronwyn is not just going to back down. Heather wants Bronwyn to. Heather is girl. I don't even bring. Heather is playing the sorority game, right? You're new to the sorority. I'm gonna haze you. And Bronwyn is like, girl, you're not hazing shit over here. Okay, girl, know who you think? I don't know who you think I am. So, anyways, Angie and Meredith. Okay, when I tell you, I don't care what none of y'all say. When I tell you, Meredith is a key to me. Meredith is a dramatic white woman. When I tell you, Meredith is a dramatic white woman. I live. I don't care what none of y'all say. I felt like I understood what Meredith was coming from. Just listen. So Angie wants to have a conversation with Meredith. Because at this point, it's all about moving forward, right? Angie, not Angie, what's her name? Mary kind of gave a speech about just putting it out there, trying to move forward, girl, leaving stuff in the past. And so Angie wants to have a conversation with Meredith. Meredith says, I don't want to go backwards. It won't be good for anybody. Okay. I could see why some people could look at that as Meredith, like kind of like a subtle threat. Like, are you threatening me? But I feel like what Mary was saying is kind of like, girl, why are we going backwards? We've already had this conversation. We had the conversation at the table with your husband present, with my husband present. Like, why are we going backwards? It won't be good for anybody. That's how I felt like. I don't think that it was like a threat necessarily, but it was more so like, if we go backwards, it's not gonna be good for you. It's not gonna be good for me, girl. Let's just go. Like, let's just leave it alone. But Angie wants to have the conversation. And so Angie says that Meredith alluded to Sean being gay. Let me say something. You want to talk about the husbands? We can talk about the husbands. Right? You want to talk about the husbands? We can talk about the husbands. I think that I like Angie, I do. And I like Sean with his big, fine, thick ass. Girl, that Sean know he fine. But I think that it is not fair to kind of put that all on Meredith's shoulders because, girl, the people who outright said that Sean was a power bottom, girl, wasn't that Gunica? Girl, wasn't that Monica and Whitney who kind of got together and put that shit out there? I think it was Monica, right? We're not going to sit here and act like, as ignorant as it may sound, and no, it is not true 100% across the board, but we're not going to sit here and act like when you hear that a man was a hairdresser, you don't just think that he's one of the girls. You think he wanted the kids, girl. You think you think he's gay. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that Angie had already said there had been rumors about Sean being gay, anyways, due to his profession. One thing I will say that Meredith does that she's good at, Meredith is good at kind of cracking a door and then letting somebody else bust it open, right? She's done that a few times, and Meredith is my girl. But I can say, I remember she did it with Monica one time. I felt like she kind of dropped the seed, and because she knew Monica was thirsty for camera time, Monica picked it up and ran across, and picked it up, right? A part of me does believe that when Meredith said, we can talk about the rumors about your husband. I do kind of believe now that that could have been the rumor that Meredith was talking about Sean supposedly being gay. I kind of believe it now. Um, is it a good look, right? When you say you're an ally to the LGBTQ community and your son is gay and you're kind of in a way outing someone, right? Or assisting or pushing a rumor that could be out there about someone. No, it's not a good look because some people will look at that as though you're outing someone. So now thinking back on it, I could definitely see Meredith when she said we could talk about the rumors about her husband or something like that. I can't remember her exact words. That was possibly the rumor that Meredith was talking about. It doesn't take away from the fact that I think Monica and Whitney, or Monica was the one who put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Um, Girl, your husband, there have been rumors about your husband, as ignorant as it may sound again, your husband is a hairdresser. I think most people think when they think of a hairdresser and a man, they're automatically going to say that he's gay. So these gay rumors about Sean is nothing new. And I think Angie has already talked about that too. So Meredith starts to bring up, I guess, Sean in the interview. I really couldn't make out what Sean was saying. And then Whitney, girl, I'm not gonna lie, girl, Meredith had her phone in the air like this. When I tell you Whitney snatched Meredith's phone. Girl, I said, bitch, girl, what is going on? Bitch, when Whitney snatched Meredith's phone, and then Meredith got up and snatched it back, and she was like, I was trying to turn up the volume. Whitney, you just don't grab. Who, girl, who just grabbed somebody's phone? Like, can you imagine you having your phone in there and somebody just snatches your phone out of your hand? Girl, girl, no, I said, girl, what? Whitney was out of line for that. I'm sorry. Um, And so then Meredith and Angie get into it. Mary is trying to calm the girls down, and she's basically telling them to both be quiet. And then she says, if you're not going to listen, get out of my house. Um, Meredith gets upset. She hugs Mary. You know, I love you, but I have to, like, this is nothing. When I tell you, bitch, I love Meredith. I don't care what none of y'all say. When I tell you that motherfucker Meredith is a kicking to me. You're going to jump on me? I'm just going to leave. Girl, this is just not right. Meredith is a white woman, baby. When I tell you I love it. Girl, when I tell you Meredith, girl got upset. Girl, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave. No. No. You're going to let people jump on me? Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Meredith is like, girl, so dramatic. Oh, I live. Anyways, and then when she said she took those bangs with her, this is not the Flintstones. That's what Mary said about Meredith. Because Meredith's hair did look a mess. Anyways, it was a cute episode though. This was good. Girl, Salt Lake City is bringing it, girl. Girl, they are bringing it. Girl, I'm here for it. And that was pretty much it, girl. All right, y'all. I'm gone. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.